Before the elections, the Civic Coalition announced changes that would satisfy Polish farmers. Among the solutions, maintaining the embargo on Ukrainian products and even tightening procedures. We are also wholeheartedly on the side of Polish producers and Polish farmers, and it cannot be that they will accidentally be the victims in this situation at the border. Yesterday, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said he would not close the border with Ukraine. There was only an announcement to pull surplus grain off the market and subsidize farmers. About 4 or 5 million tons are involved. That's half the surplus lying in the warehouses. We want to figure out the scheme of this grain collection or the form of payment. That is, how and in what amount it will go to the farmers. We want to work it out together. Before the elections, Michał Kołodziejczak said that for farmers, subsidies are a temporary solution. We don't want to keep counting on handouts, that someone will give us something. Farmers are expected to learn specifics about the Green Deal on Wednesday. Tomorrow, leaders of protesting farmers' groups will meet with representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development once again. Konrad Chmioła, TV Republika. At least 10 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli artillery shelling on a tented camp in the southern Gaza town of Al-Mawasi in Khan Yunis, where thousands of displaced Gazans have been sheltering. 2 displaced Palestinians staying in the Al-Mawasi camp said several family members were killed in the latest Israeli attack, which began at dawn. They said the 15-minute warning was not enough time to evacuate everyone, and one also lost his sheep. There was no immediate comment from Israel. According to the Israeli army instructions, they told us this is a safe area. Last night there was artillery fire that started in the evening, and it was close to us, but we were afraid to get out of the tent, that they might hit us. So we stayed inside, and I went in to sit with my family. Around dawn, they fired here. The first 2 people were injured. My father was injured, and my sister's head was badly injured. While we were trying to get out, another shelling was fired. My uncle was injured. My sister, brother, another sister, and my cousin were all killed inside. I told the Israeli army I have 3 people with disabilities. How shall I move out? They told me I have 15 minutes to leave, and we left. We searched for a place to stay. We were told to either go by the sea or to Rafah, and we've been told that the Al-Mawasi area is safe. So we came here, and we've been staying here since the 1st of December. Then after a while, my elder brother, with all his sons, daughters, and grandchildren, 37 people were killed. We couldn't pull them from the western side because we can't get their bodies, and we're waiting for permission. The Israeli military said on Saturday, March 9th, that it conducted arrests, located weapons, and killed more than 30 militants in southern Khan Yunis, central Gaza, and in its north. Medics said 23 people were killed in Khan Yunis. The specter of war and hunger in Gaza is overshadowing the normally festive Muslim holy month as talks to secure a ceasefire stalled. Egypt was in contact with senior Hamas and Israeli figures, as well as other mediators on Sunday, in an effort to restart negotiations for a truce in the Gaza Strip during Ramadan, which begins on Monday or Tuesday, 2 Egyptian security sources said on Sunday. Many Gazans will not be able to celebrate Ramadan after losing so many relatives. Israel's relentless campaign in Gaza has caused increasing alarm across the world as the growing risk of famine threatens to add to a death toll that has already passed 31,000. A doctor who was working in Gaza for 3 weeks described the desperate situation occurring due to the lack of humanitarian aid getting into the Strip.
It's not just about planes that are dropping bombs. It's not just about homes that are destroyed and people that are displaced, but all aspects of life are impacted in the Gaza Strip. And I felt it. I mean, there's a shortage of food. Everybody's hearing now about the 20 children who have died from starvation and dehydration. But also there's people who are actually hungry there. You see them. They're wondering where their next meal will come from. Any organization that's working with food security, trying to deliver food like Pious Projects, I mean, they operate 7 soup kitchens, they will tell you that the situation has deteriorated for a couple of reasons. And we're at the point that we are because there is a bottleneck. There used to be three entrances into the Gaza Strip. Israel controlled two of them, and Egypt controls one of them. Now, only one out of the three is partially functioning. People are actually starving to death. And so, this is an easy fix. If you ask any NGO, it's an easy fix. Just flood the markets, allow people to get the food that they need, allow all of these ports open, and don't kill somebody who's trying to go for a bag of flour.
Moreover, Dr. Ahmad applauded the U.S. initiative to open a maritime corridor to get aid into Gaza, but said it would not be enough and that the ideal option would be to open the borders and let in the aid that is stuck there. The United States and Jordan carried out a new airdrop of humanitarian aid to Gaza's Palestinians on Sunday, March 10th, parachuting in more than 11,500 meals, the U.S. military confirmed. The Israeli offensive in Gaza, which the United States supports, has displaced most of the enclave's 2.3 million people and led to critical shortages of food, water, and medicine, with severe bottlenecks in aid deliveries at land border checkpoints. Several nations started aid airdrops last month, but the U.S. said they are an expensive and insufficient alternative to aid that is trucked in, given the scale of the humanitarian crisis. On Friday, the 8th of March, several people were killed when the aid dropped on them. The U.S. military Central Command said the latest airdrop, which included rice, flour, pasta, and canned food, took place over northern Gaza. According to Pentagon data, the United States has dropped about 135,000 meals in airdrops this month. In an effort to boost supplies, the U.S. Army has now dispatched a ship to send humanitarian aid to Gaza, Central Command CENTCOM said on Sunday. U.S. President Joe Biden ordered the military to build a temporary port to bring aid into Gaza by sea, as Gaza does not have a port infrastructure. The Pentagon said on Friday, March 8th, that it could take up to 60 days to be up and running, a timeline that aid groups say is too long given the imminent risk of famine. And in Cyprus, the NGO Open Arms with the charity World Central Kitchen are waiting to sail to Gaza to deliver 200 tons of food. An Italian military plane took off from Cairo on Sunday, March 10th, with injured children from Gaza on board. A total of 45 people, 14 children, 8 adults, and 23 others boarded a C-130J plane by the Italian Air Force. The injured children will be treated at Italian pediatric hospitals. The youngest patient is a 4-month-old baby named Aisel, according to the Italian Defense Ministry. The operation was conducted by an Air Force crew and military medical and paramedical personnel. A statement from the Italian Defense Ministry said Italy is evaluating the possibility of distributing humanitarian material in the Gaza Strip by airlift, hoping to activate a maritime corridor to transport humanitarian aid, and is ready to send an Italian Army field hospital as soon as conditions allow. A blast in the popular Bakara market in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, ripped through dozens of shops, killing at least one person on Sunday, March 10th. Sunday's blast is the second in Bakara market in just over a month. Bakara, Mogadishu's largest market, teams with traders and is where most residents buy their food, clothes, medicine, electronics, and other items daily. My business center has totally burned, and I lost everything I have. I saw this when I came to the market. It is a very sad day. Authorities believe that it was an improvised explosive device that was placed near the market that caused the fire. Firefighters on the scene worked to extinguish the flames as residents and business owners looked on, counting their losses. It was not immediately clear who was responsible for the blast, but Islamist group Al-Shabaab frequently carries out bombings in Somalia. The group has been battling Somalia's federal government and an African Union-mandated peacekeeping force for years, seeking to establish a new government based on its own interpretation of Sharia law. Catholics in Barcelona prayed for rain on Saturday, March 9th, hoping for an end to the region's worst drought on record.
They've been praying for 9 days. They've been doing masses, so this is the payback now.
Brothers of the Arch Confraternity of the Most Pure Blood of Our Lord Jesus Christ led the evening procession through the city, carrying a figure of Christ on the cross. The figure of Saint Christ de la Sang, or Holy Christ of the Blood, has been used to summon rain for centuries. This has been documented since the 16th century, in times of exceptional drought, to parade the Christ of Blood. We won't have enough water today, but they already say it. Make a request for the rain and come without an umbrella. Men of little faith, you have to come with umbrellas if you're going to pray for rain.
What I really like about it is that it gives a lot of people hope. And that's the spirit of this season that we're coming into. It's the hope that rain will come, and look at we're celebrating this event, and the rain is here. We haven't had rain for months.
The Spanish region of Catalonia is facing its worst drought on record. Some parts of the Iberian Peninsula are at their driest in 1,200 years. A 2022 study showed, forcing officials to consider bringing in water by ship.